All right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Paris. It's Friday. You know what that means. Say it with me. Bring it in deep. Come on, I know you got it. It is OCTANE Friday. And that's when we kick it up a notch for your Friday, so you can just crank it to 11, whatever it is you're doing. All I know is the weather we're having here in Connecticut, a little too early for summer weather, but all I know is my top's down in my Bronco, and I got the music blaring, and it's life is good. I had this Friday all picked out. I had a band picked out that was going to be like a Wanderlust Wednesday OCTANE Friday mix, and then that just blew up in my face when I went through my feed yesterday and said, you know what, we're covering that. And that's how it is here in the cave. You never know what's going to happen. We just roll with the changes. As REO Speedwagon once said, you can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish. And so I'm looking through my feed, and lo and behold, Metallica is in a 4-night residency on Jimmy Kimmel Live. And I was like, I pulled up the video that we're talking about today, and I was like, oh man, you just blew my doors off, man. So that's what we're switching into. Sorry I don't have my wingman with me. Paul Chabot should be right here. He would have a lot to say about this. Regrets. I have regrets. But anyway, Paul, apologies to you, but you can chime in on the comments section. Metallica did Master of Puppets last night in its entirety on Jimmy Kimmel Live, and boy, did they just like nail it. So good. These guys just keep getting older, and they're just as good. They're amazing. Where do we even start to talk about this? Let's just get the Master of Puppets stuff out of the way. Released on March 3rd, 1985. This is their third studio album, their last one with bassist Cliff Burton, who died tragically on the tour supporting this record. They recorded it in Denmark, of course, because it was thrash metal, and people not everyone was ready for thrash metal. I know I certainly wasn't in 1985 as I was looking for my sunglasses at night with Corey Hart. They just went to number 29 in the Billboard Top 200. I'm scratching my head going, how did it go to number 29 in 1985? That is shocking to me. Sold 6 million copies, one of the greatest metal albums of all time. It ranks up in the top 5 of everyone's list. It's huge. It's a big deal. They went on tour for 5 months with Ozzy Osbourne after this. Amazing. And it showed up in movies. As soon as you hear that opening lick, you're like, yep. Old School being the one that I think of the most, when they took that van and kidnapped all those people. As soon as they played it, you were like, yeah, that's awesome. Zombieland, Double Tap, that's the opening credits. Awesome. And of course, Hellfire Club, Stranger Things. I mean, if you really want to do something massive in your show or movie, you just pay that licensing fee to Metallica, and you're good with Master of Puppets. But the interesting thing I saw, they were on Howard Stern, and they're talking about their guitars and stuff. And Kirk Hammett was talking about his particular guitar that's called Greenie, and Greenie is legendary. He bought it off of Peter Green, who founded Fleetwood Mac. And the story, I'll post that clip below. The story's great, but Peter Green was tough on his luck and needed some money, and he came to Kirk Hammett and said, you know, you want to buy my guitar? And the rumor is, like, was it a $2 million guitar? And he's like, I did not pay $2 million for this guitar. But he played the guitar and was like, I don't even understand how good this guitar is, and this is amazing. And as soon as he played the first few chords, he was like, you're not leaving with this guitar. I'm buying this guitar. And the history is that, Mick Fleetwood and Jeremy Spencer and Peter Green, original members of Fleetwood Mac blues rock band. It turns out they had some great music. If people say, oh, Fleetwood Mac, and you're thinking of all Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham and all that stuff, Christy McVie, this is not what we're talking about. We're talking about before that. And Peter Green wrote Black Magic Woman. And so this guitar that's from that song, Black Magic Woman, which later was made famous by Santana. But Peter Green wrote that. And they had some other awesome music. Oh Well, Man of the World, all kinds of stuff. You check that stuff out. Then that guitar, he sells that guitar for like some paltry amount. I can't remember what the interview said. It wasn't a lot of money. Was it $150? I don't remember what it was. To Gary Moore of Thin Lizzy. And he uses it, including a 1979 Black Rose album, which is considered their seminal album, and one of these, just an awesome album. But think about that. The guitar went from there and then was played in Thin Lizzy. Awesome band, by the way, Gary Moore. And then Gary Moore, remember I did that Wanderlust Wednesday. He went on, did his own stuff, and he did that blues album, Still Got the Blues for You. Not to mention that other song, Victims of the Future. But I don't know if he played Greenie on those, but Greenie is legendary, and now Kirk Hammett is playing it, and it's awesome. So, Peter Green died in 2020, in case you didn't remember that. And Metallica, why are they doing a residency on Jimmy Kimmel Live? Because they got a new album coming out today. Last night you could have gone to movie theaters and with fans and listened to the whole thing. But the new album is called 72 Seasons, so you got to check that out. And then they got this tour coming out. They're doing a tour. They're doing a 72 Seasons tour, but then they're also doing this tour this summer. 46 shows in 23 cities. So it's a weekend like you could buy a whole weekend ticket, and they're not going to repeat a song in the 2 sets of the whole weekend. So 23 cities, 46 shows, no repeat weekend. It was a huge amount of money, all kinds of packages, the gold package, the platinum package, the double platinum package, the titanium package, the You're on the Moon package, I don't know, whatever it is. But I've seen Metallica a few times, Paul Chabot and I. We last saw them a bit ago. And they're amazing live. So if you get a chance to catch them, you're going to do it. We're almost to 7 minutes. I thought that was going to be a quick episode, and it's not. So anyway, Metallica, awesome. Never gets old. And boy, did they just knock it out of the park on Jimmy Kimmel Live. And that's your song of the day, Master of Puppets from Jimmy Kimmel Live last night. Check it out. That's what you're cranking up to. It's awesome outside. Nothing like a little Metallica to get you going into the weekend, whatever you're doing. Gosh, hope it involves music. And as usual, I'll catch you on the flip side.